So this is Maria. You saw in, I believe, the last video I did of her, I had started dragging the log with her. We've been practicing that some more. But the next thing I want to do is I want to get her used to having a rope thrown off of her and around her. And I am not a roper by any means. All I'm just trying to do is get her broke to the rope. In a lot of the ranch classes that we do, you just have to demonstrate that a horse will allow you to build a loop and throw off of the horse. Probably going to end up taking that further with her, but right now we just need to see if she'll let us build a loop. I don't, normally by the time I get a horse to this stage, it's pretty much a non-event because I've done so much other stuff with them. I've done so much other groundwork that the rope is really a non-issue. You'll notice every time I get on a horse, I take the rein and I just throw it over. And when I'm on this side, I throw that rein over. The horses are used to that kind of stuff because I do it so often. It's a non-issue. So when I get to this part where I'm gonna do something like throw a rope, it actually becomes basically a non-issue because of what I've already done. Just work it just a little bit on the ground just to get her mind in the right place. She has never had a rope thrown off of her, never had a rope handled around her. So I didn't think there would be any reaction there. There typically is not. But I wanted you to see, if you do this correctly, there is not an issue. It's pretty much a non-event because you prepared the horse. Just like I prepared it for dragging that log, it was pretty much a non-issue because of the work I'd have done before. Everything that I do from the ground up has a purpose. It has a reason. It is all, see how I do that every time. It all has a purpose, a reason to build to something in the saddle. And for as long as I've had her, she's had that stuff thrown over her just like that. I'm gonna put this snaffle bit on her. This is just my heavy ring snaffle. I have been swapping back and forth between this bit and my low port leverage bit with her, depending on what I'm working on that day. Every bit has a purpose. Every bit is designed to teach the horse to use their body in a little bit different way for different things. And this is the bit that I need for today. If she goes to react, I want to be able to get her head around to the side, keep it as much of a non-action as I can, where when I'm working on frame collection, that kind of stuff, then I'm going to want something that's more on the level of what I'm working towards. I'll tighten it about 3 holes there. I'm going to walk her. I'm not going to get directly on her after tightening the saddle. I never do. I'm always going to walk after tightening the saddle. Now you see, I have the rope up there on the saddle. She's used to things up there. Back in the very beginning, at one point, I had bumpers hanging off of her. It's all a matter of preparing the horse correctly. If you prepare your horse, things will be a non-issue. Typically, if you have a reaction, you have an issue, you miss something in your preparation. Not necessarily always. A lot of times when they see something for the first time, now I asked her to walk off that time. A lot of times when they see something for the first time, they do get a reaction. But if you prepared correctly, it shouldn't be a big reaction. Walk a couple of left circles, circle or two, then a right circle or two. I always start off every horse by walking in a couple of circles. I want to know that that horse will let me control speed and direction. Now, just like when I was dragging the log the other day in that video, I'm not going to get this rope in a position that I can't let go of it. And I'm going to keep my left rein a little bit shorter than the right. So if she does spook, we're not going to run forward, we're going to go around to the side. That end fell down right away. I didn't really intend for that to happen, but she didn't care, really didn't think she would. Raised her head a little bit. Wasn't sure what that was. So now what I'm going to start with, I'm not even really going to build a loop. I'm just going to take the end of the rope and let it drag. Let her feel it down her side. Feel it all over. Don't want her to step in the loop, but if she does, she's got to get broke to that too. You want to keep your horse from hurting himself, but you also have to let them experience things too. You just want to experience things in a way that they don't get hurt as best as you can. Let it hang back long. Now I'm going to get the loops in my left hand along with my reins. I'm not going to hide anything from her. Got it caught on my back billet. When I get a horse broke to a rope, they're pretty broke to a rope because I done roped everything but whatever I'm trying to rope. Start small. Now, I've never swung a rope off of her before, but you've seen how I swung the reins around them, and it's a non-issue. I expect this to be a non-issue. She started walking a little faster when I got up close to her ears. She ain't too crazy about that, but she ain't really reacting about it. Get it on both sides, flip it over to the left, flip it over to the right, back to the left. As you see, I got my loop pretty small. Everything is going to build. I started off with no loop at all, and I got a small loop, rubbing her all over. It's going to gradually get a little bit bigger. Like I said, I'm not a roper, but I can usually get one pretty broke to a rope. Make my loop a little bigger. I'm not doing a whole lot of steering right here. I'm kind of generally keeping her going left. That's about it. That was a good example of how much Not of a roper, I am. All right, so now let's work a little bit of more desensitizing stuff. She's not doing any kind of major freaking out about any part of it. Whoa. Come on. I know you got to stop in there somewhere. There we go. I like to work this exercise. I'll put a loop down. Have them, whoop, that wasn't where I wanted you to step. Let's stop again. There we go. Get her to step into the loop. Now if she panics, all I gotta do is throw this on the ground. I want her broke to this, touching her all over her body. Stop. Brakes aren't working as good today as they usually are. All right, let's walk out of it. There we go. Good girl. So I will continue this work with her, getting her more used to a rope. This is the first day I've picked a rope up on her back. Looks like we need to go back and work on her stop a little bit. This is the first day that I've picked a rope up on her back. She's doing good, but this is how I would expect them to do if I've done my homework correct. If you are getting a big reaction with your horse with the rope, you need to go back and work on your homework. So this is Maria. This is actually the horse that was really afraid of cows. By the time I send her back, I hope to be doing some breakaway on her, if I can catch. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll put a link up here to her other videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.